Hello, welcome back to the Bargain Reviews. Today, I'm going to be showing you some easy, cheap upgrades that you can do to your home gym right now. These aren't expensive machines or any kind of fancy gear. This is to get the most out of your setup with upgrades that cost, well, basically under $50. Even some that are $10 or if you have enough things laying around, free. But these can make a huge difference in your workouts, your space, and well, your motivation, especially without the cash. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you at least 5 things that you can implement today that's going to make your home gym feel more functional, organized, fun. So let's dive in. All right, let's start with one that's really easy here, and it's a really easy, impactful upgrade that maybe you didn't know you needed, and that's going to be lighting. Now, I'm going to break this down into 2 different types of lighting, one being overhead lighting, and other being like LED strip lighting, to kind of add some aesthetics, right? So, bright overhead lighting is essential because it lets you clearly see while you're lifting form. It makes the space look really clean and professional, and realistically, I know we're kind of chasing that commercial feel in a way, or at least for those of us that are overdoing things. And squatting and pressing in a dimly lit space with poor visibility might affect technique, but also I feel like it just doesn't look as right. LED strips are also a very cheap way and a fun way that you could change colors, highlight certain areas, and create a more professional look, especially if you're going to be filming. Now, I don't have any LED strips, so this is basically just looking off of online. I've seen a bunch of people on Instagram, of course, and I think a really great touch is adding those along the top of the wall for general ambient lighting. Also, maybe the bottom of the wall to add a little bit of more depth and visual, and then of course around mirrors and around maybe some wall controller storage units. And it just gives you a different angle. And honestly, for some people, it just boosts a little bit of motivation to go down to the gym and make it just feel like your space. Most LED kits are well under $50, and even the overhead lighting compared to having a drop ceiling and maybe getting recessed lighting and putting in a bunch of different things. You can get something like Bravia lights, which is what I have. I've gotten those on Amazon. They usually range to that $50 to $60. You can also find some nice cheap hex lighting that gives you that nice bright down lighting that really brightens up the space, makes things honestly just feel more professional, a little bit bigger and brighter, making it easier to train on a daily basis. And of course, with LED strips, you can add a little bit more customization, whether that's color schemes or just, maybe matching it to music to make things feel, a little bit more intense, right? So, either way, lighting can be a huge but cheap upgrade for your home gym. All right, so next is going to be a super cheap and effective hack that is a very easy upgrade, which, well, is a tennis ball landmine tip, I guess. So, this is very easy. If you have any old tennis balls laying around, or maybe just buy an old cheap one from Amazon or something, it's really easy to do. You just make one cut in here, and then you put it over top the end of your barbell, and it protects your barbell and your walls and your floors. And you can do landmine exercises by just sticking it in the corner. So anything that involves rotations and presses, it just prevents any kind of dents, scratches, or and makes it a little bit easier to use. So it's a really, really cost effective option for you. Literally could be free in my case, but also could maybe just cost you a few dollars. So at the end of the day, what we're looking for here is really cheap upgrades that you can pretty much do today. So you can find a bunch of these at maybe like a yard sale or something. And again, landmines are a very versatile attachment for a rack. But if you don't have one, or maybe you don't have a rack even, but you just have barbell and weights, this is a great way to add a lot of great movements, like landmine rows, right? You could do a lot of core work, like twists with them. And it's really, really easy. Again, you just cut a small slit into the ball, make sure it has a really nice snug fit, and then stick it on the end, and then put it in a corner. And it's a great way to get a landmine for very, very cheap. Unlike what I did, which was spend, $100+ on an attachment, right? When you can literally just use a tennis ball. So, great, cheap upgrade that you could do today: tennis ball, landmine. All right, so next, a super cheap way to give your gym a custom professional look is using, well, custom stickers, custom vinyl, or maybe even paint markers. So, a lot of racks have attachments, cutouts, branding plates, and instead of leaving them like a plain black, like like my Rogue, um, gun rack, which is for my barbells, it's just black on black, right? So you want to add a little bit of color, a little bit of style to it. A great way to do that is vinyl stickers. I know I've seen this on other channels. I want to say Basement Brandon was where the first time I saw this. It's really easy to apply though. You just kind of measure, cut, and then put that sticker where it's intended to go, and then you have a color that potentially matches your rack or attachments, right? Um, since it's a permanent vinyl, it's going to be on there. It's pretty snug, and if it's between or pressed between, two pieces of plastic or a piece of plastic and metal or two pieces of metal, it's really not going anywhere. But you don't have to stop there either. I've seen this. I haven't committed to it yet. I've looked into it a few times. I'm not sure it fits my aesthetic. But getting paint markers, right? So that way you can customize anything that's kind of metal or iron weights or plates. I really like, I've watched a few channels, and maybe I'll throw some B-roll of some of those on there, where you take like the paint markers, like let's say the navy blue or dark blue, and I put them over the Rogue symbols on my Rogue deep dish plates. And I think that just adds a lot of personal flair, adds another touch, and, well, it makes it maybe a little bit easier to read the numbers and lettering on deep dish plates, especially the ones that are just cast iron, right? So, cost-wise, this vinyl sheet here, it only cost me, I want to say, like $5, maybe even upwards of $8. And I've customized many things like my Rep Arcadia, my Rogue gun rack, barbell holder as well. And there's plenty of other things that I could potentially do as well in the future. And I kind of just have this always on deck, right? The paint markers, again, we're talking a few bucks here. Now, I haven't done that one myself, but these are both really effective, easy upgrades to your home gym that just give your gym a little bit of polish, customization, and again, makes it feel just a little bit more personal to you. And it's going to, at the end of the day, make you train just a little bit harder in your own space. All right, so next we're going to move into a little bit more DIY heavy. And this is a really easy upgrade if you're looking for a forearm roller. So what I have here is like 2-inch or a little bit more than 2-inch PVC. And I kind of just cut this off into, like, I would say this is approximately like 14 or 15 inches. So anywhere between 12 and 18 inches. And then all I did was I cut it off. I threaded two jump ropes through here. You could also get different types of rope, whatever you're trusting for strength there. And then I kind of just tied it around a weight plate. You could also do it on a loading pin. And then it's really, really easy once you've drilled these and put these in. And all I do is I just put one of my barbells on the J-cups, and then I can just insert it on the other side. And then it's really easy to just do some forearm rolls. And of course, I could go forward, backwards, and work on both sides of my forearm. So this is a really, really easy upgrade that you can do, especially if you have a saw or a table saw for that matter, to make things even easier, and just have a drill that you can kind of pre-drill some holes. So if you'd like to see more kind of DIY stuff out of me, I am looking into doing a few more DIY projects. So please throw some comments and questions of maybe even suggestions of some DIY projects you'd like to see for the home gym. Of course, there's people way more handy than I am doing way cooler stuff, but something like this was something I didn't even see online. I kind of just thought myself, like, I have this old PVC sitting around. I cut it down and it fit perfect over my barbell sleeve, and I just wanted to add forearm wrist rolls into my workout, right? So again, this is a great way to strengthen forearms, help your wrists, and help your grip. I know mine desperately needs it. And then again, you hit the most flexion, extension of the muscles, that you can't just target alone by doing maybe some other dumbbell work, right? So great workup or great work for warm ups, accessory work, maybe even active recovery. And honestly, the PVC pipe to me was free, but I know just looking at Home Depot, I want to say it's about $10 a foot. So for $10, maybe buy some cheap rope. You're looking at a really simple and cheap upgrade that you could do today with just a few DIY, accessories or way to build, right? So again, very easy to build and very cheap. All right, next and last is going to be another DIY forearm workout upgrade, which is going to be, well, a really old trick and just a really cheap trick here, which is going to be rice in a bucket. Materials, very easy here. 5-gallon bucket usually works best. And then I bought, I want to say it was around 10 to 15 pound bag of white long grain rice. I just went to Costco. I want to say it cost me like $15 or so. And then of course I went to, I think I went to Walmart actually, but you get Home Depot, whatever, and get a lid. That's a pro tip. Get a lid so it keeps it nice and dry, and it's really easy. Once you put it in there, it's simple. Stick your hands in and perform. There's a lot of techniques. You can go and look at YouTube videos online. There's different types of exercises and everything, but anywhere from digging, squeezing, twisting, and finger spread movements can really get your forearms firing. It can really get your grip strength up or your finger strength up. And again, this is really easy to do. Bucket, lid, dump in rice. You are all set to go. So, really simple setup. Again, around maybe $20, $25 tops. And you have a ton of forearm workouts in your future. So, again, this kind of pairs perfectly for me when I do my PVC rollers. I can do the PVC rolling, and then I can also go right into the rice training. And again, this is a really simple and cheap tool. So overall, great to build grip strength, finger dexterity even. And, if you're really looking to maybe PR on a raw deadlift, this might be something to up your grip strength and maybe even up the size of your forearms for cheap. All right, so to recap, here are some really easy, cheap upgrades you can do right now. Obviously, lighting. I love my overhead lighting. Bravia. Again, we're talking $50, $60 tops. A tennis ball landmine attachment, or landmine, I guess, tip. Again, that one for me was free, but we're talking a few dollars here. Next is going to be customization of colors, whether that's vinyl stickers, paint markers. Again, a really easy way to add a personal touch at a very affordable price. And then the next two categories are more, DIY heavy, which might require some tools, but cutting down a piece of PVC, putting in a rope, attaching it to a weight makes a great forearm roller. That's kind of like a rack attached one, right? Where you just put it on your barbell sleeve, and then kind of just do your wrist rolls forward and backwards, right? Last is going to be old school rice bucket forearm training workout. It's an old school form of forearm training, but it's timeless and it's very effective and, well, very cheap. So all of these are really budget friendly, easy to implement, and it's something that you could do like today to immediately improve your home gym experience and your training experience. So if you're interested in what we did today in the video, please let me know. I've linked in the description some different affiliate links that do help the channel here at the Bar Gym Reviews. So by all means, please use those if you feel like you need to buy something from Bells of Steel, Rep, Yasuda, or any of those other companies I have linked in there. Please visit those. It does help the channel at no extra cost to you. So if you like the budget kind of videos, please let me know. Budget videos seem to be very popular, but also DIY. I have two DIY options. I'm looking to do a few more DIY projects around here to see how they turn out. So please flood the comments with your suggestions or type of DIY projects you might want to see, especially if it's on a budget, right? Especially if you ask my wife. So again, like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. And of course, if you like what we're doing here, do all those things, and we will see you guys next time.